Let's start with the logical thinker. A logical thinker analyzes situations by breaking down complex information into manageable parts, using reasoning and evidence to arrive at rational, objective conclusions. An example would be Aristotle, because he was considered the father of logic. He developed the first formal system of reasoning using syllogisms, which, by the way, probably is not the most accurate way, because a syllogism argument will be all birds can fly. Penguins are birds, and therefore penguins can fly. It's not true, of course, but technically it's the most logical way to think about it. Nonetheless, he is considered the father of logic for a reason, and with just a fact, we cannot prove if an argument is true or not. Because of that, we know that a logical thinker will be questioning it with the most logical arguments. Now let's talk about the critical thinker. A critical thinker is an individual who engages in self-disciplined, objective analysis and evaluation of information to form reasoned judgments. The best example would be Socrates, pioneered critical thinking through the Socratic method, a form of cooperative argumentative dialogue aimed at stimulating critical thinking and illuminating ideas by questioning assumptions, evidence, and logical consistency, rather than accepting information passively. Analytical thinker. An analytical thinker breaks down complex information, data, or problems into smaller, manageable components to identify patterns, evaluate evidence, and read logical, evidence-based solutions. René Descartes is undoubtedly an excellent example of the analytic thinker because of his Cartesian method, which is a rationalist approach to problem solving and knowledge acquisition. By breaking complex problems into smaller, manageable, and self-evident parts. Also, he pioneered analytic geometry, merging algebra and geometry to allow geometric shapes to be analyzed through equations. Creative thinker. A creative thinker is an individual who approaches problems with curiosity, flexibility, and unique perspective to generate innovative, actionable solutions, often described as thinking outside the box. Key traits included risk-taking, open-mindedness, and the ability to connect seemingly unrelated concepts. It could be none other than Leonardo da Vinci. Da Vinci's creative thinking was driven by relentless, childlike curiosity and a multidisciplinary approach that blended art and science. He utilized intense observation, embraced uncertainty, and constantly connected disparate ideas to solve complex problems. His methodology included meticulous note-taking, sketching to visualize thought, and alternating between deep focus and leisure to foster innovation. The reflective thinker. A reflective thinker is an individual who engages in deep, conscientious, and often solitary analysis of their own thoughts, actions, and decisions to foster understanding and growth. A great example of a reflective thinker is Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher. He is renowned for his reflective work Meditations, which served as a personal guide for maintaining virtue, sanity, and clarity aims to pleasure of leadership. He practiced daily self-reflection to manage emotions, embrace mortality, memento mori, and focus on duty. Writing during military campaigns, this work was not intended for publication but as a private practical diary to remind himself of Stoic principles such as controlling his inner world when external events were chaotic. Now let's talk about concrete thinker. A concrete thinker processes information literally, focusing on the physical world, tangible facts, and through sensory experience, sight, sound, and touch, rather than abstract concepts. An example of it would be Immanuel Kant. He was a transformative philosopher who bridged abstract reasoning with concrete, sensory experience, arguing that human understanding shapes reality through mental categories. He focused on grounding knowledge in observable phenomena while proposing a practical, universal ethic, the categorical imperative, to guide concrete human actions. Let's talk about the strategic thinker. A strategic thinker is an individual who employs a proactive, rational, and long term mindset to analyze complex variables, anticipate future challenges, and identify opportunities. They focus on the big picture, aligning immediate actions with overarching goals to create sustainable value. Key traits include critical thinking, curiosity, and adaptability. An example would be Niccolo Machiavelli, also known as Nicolas Machiavello. His strategic thinking, primarily detailed in The Prince, focuses on pragmatism, power acquisition, and maintaining state stability over moral idealism. He emphasizes during deception over force when possible. The last, but no less important, intuitive thinker. An intuitive thinker is someone who processes information rapidly and subconsciously, relying on gut feelings, pattern recognition, and past experience rather than slow, step by step analysis. They focus on the big picture, excel at making quick decisions under pressure, and often jump to conclusions by sensing connections. An excellent example is Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein famously considered intuition a sacred gift and the rational mind a faithful servant, believing that true discovery stems from intuitive leaps rather than purely logical deduction. He relied on visualization, thought, experiments, and music to spark insight, often developing complex physical theories conceptually before applying mathematics. And that was all for today's video. I hope that you enjoy it, or at least you have learned something new. Au revoir.